I'm in nature and shit. Well, it's been a hell of a road trip so far. I gotta say, I'm loving every second of it. Even staying last night at the rest stop, which was interesting.
Old habits die hard.
I'm parked at a rest area south of Carlisle. And this is one of the places you can park and not get fucked with. You know, it would be stupid for them to fuck with people who are stopping because they're tired. So that would lead to death.
So this truck just pulled in. Thankfully, hopefully he realizes this other truck fucking... But not only is he behind me, his ass end was sticking out in the fucking thing. And it's still gonna be sticking out in the fucking thing. If he backs into me, he's done.
At one point during the rest stop, a motorcyclist pulls up, goes out, and I'm sitting there watching my fucking YouTube videos on my phone in the front seat of my car, and he goes up and just goes off into the dark near a picnic table, looks at his phone once, puts his phone away, and just stands there staring at me. So that wasn't fucking creepy. Not too long after that, I started to put the curtains up and shit. But I'm in Natural Bridge State Park in Virginia. Also saw a zoo coming in, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I've seen some bad things online. And while I did want to explore, you know, the animal activists' claims, I don't think I'm going to have enough time because I still want to get to Charlotte tonight. And I want to edit this video and put this video together. So once I get all that squared away, then it'll be time for some music and shit. So I started out in Syracuse and I spent, you know, pretty much the day editing a video in Barnes & Noble, which is a nice place to work, you know, when you're gonna do stuff and you're living out of your car. So then I stopped in Binghamton. Binghamton was a little rough for me. I've had some memories there. And, you know, I had to relive a few things while I was there, but it's probably good. I thought it would kick me into a full-blown depression, but by the time I got to Pennsylvania, I was good to go. So Keto's still holding me together, I guess. You know, but I did live in Binghamton for a while. A good many of the videos earlier in this channel were filmed in Binghamton. I stopped there and I had some Speedies. The Speedies were fucking awesome. But there weren't a lot of them, and it was like $12, and I was like, you know, so basically you're paying $12 for a little bit of chicken and a whole lot of bread, and the flavor, of course. Speedy sauce is keto friendly. I used to have it before. Then I continued on all the way down to southern Pennsylvania, stopped at the rest stop, dealt with some asshole fucking truckers who haven't changed, and I'm kind of glad I'm out of the industry as a result. So yeah, that's pretty much been the trip so far. $8 to get into this park. I see the Natural Bridge.
which is fucking majestic and shit. There's a decent amount of people, but nobody was too annoying. Nobody was like climbing over shit or doing fucked up shit. But I guess this it's a nice little short, pretty much hike. It only took a couple hours. Supposedly George Washington carved some fucking initials, into the side of the thing, into the cave wall at some point. At least that's what they say. I would like to know how they fucking think that George Washington was, defacing shit. But, I don't know. Maybe he did, or maybe it was just some asshole that had the same initials as George Washington. It's kind of hard to believe, but they're putting out there that it was George Washington done put that fucking thing on the side of the mountain there. But I also like just, exploring the little natural things you can find out in this, in the wilderness, like the mushrooms and fucking little itty bitty falls. And I was fucking around with slow motion, but couldn't get anything good to come out. Just spotting the little things that nature gives us to fucking look at, to take us out of our everyday lives and kind of like give us a fucking moment of peace. And it's something that we all need, I think, to be healthy mentally. So I arrive over at the Monacan village, and I like this kind of stuff. I like learning about how people lived without all of the shit that we think we need every fucking day to live. And this is a pretty good example of a minimalist life. They spent all their time working on their shelters, working on their clothes, working on goods for trade, and coming up with and getting the food, of course. And it's just a simpler life. And then we came along and fucked all that up.
England. But this is the whole aspect of trade and barter, and it is from the colonial aspect. This is colonialism at its worst, because not only are we extracting the natural resources from the interior of the colony, we are reversing the material culture of the Native Americans, one from a bone, stone, shell, and wood focus to iron, to glass, guns and gunpowder, whiskey. These are society-altering conditions which will have a horrific impact on the Native Americans. Warfare with the Mohawks drive the Monacan people and other groups out of these regions. Many will migrate to the south, many will migrate to the north, and those that remain on the other side of the mountains and around what is today Lynchburg, Virginia. Those are still here. In Virginia, there are 11 recognized Native American groups that have survived. There are groups which are only recognized as state tribes, and then there are such as the Monacans and Pamunkey and Rappahannock groups, which are recognized as federal Indian tribes, which sits atop of the government here.
Now, motherfuckers used to live in these fucking huts, and you might think living in a Prius is rough, but this is how people lived. We get so used to our modern conveniences and huge fucking houses and all of our fucking shit that we forget that we were able to live a lot simpler and probably happier in some respects. So I always kind of think of that, when I'm going forward, when I decide if I need something or not. Granted, I like a lot of modern shit, but I also have a deep respect for the way we used to live. By the way, they obviously clearly weren't vegan, alright? They were killing fucking animals all the time. slaughtering them, eating them, using their skins, using their bones. You know, they used pretty much all the fucking animal. This was not a vegan tribe. And they were probably a lot healthier back then than when we came along and gave them the standard Western diet. So next I came to this fucking cave. It was across this little wooden bridge. You know, and I completely didn't expect a cave on this little hike. So it was like a little surprise. And you shouldn't, like, ruin the surprises. You should explore and find this shit on your own. But, you know, I was a little nervous because all I could think of is, what if one of these motherfucking rocks just decides to fall while I'm in here? You know, so I was all like creeping in, looking back and forth, you know, just kind of like, I don't know about this. But of course, like the smart fucker I am, I just went in anyway. I figured if it was going to collapse, it should have collapsed by now, you know. Except if you look over there's some pretty big fucking rocks.
It's like modern day air conditioning in this cave. Pretty cool. It's been a hell of a trip. $8. That's all this cost. $8. Couple bucks in gas.
Apparently there was a underground fucking river too, you know, and this apparently they blasted a hole into it and then tapped off of it as kind of a water main or some shit back in the day, you know, before we had like the Department of Sanitation and shit. So it's just like little things like this I enjoy, and I like sharing this shit with you guys too. I hope you guys aren't bored to death or some shit. And then, of course, this waterfall at the end that I also did not expect. I was just expecting the big natural bridge. I thought I'd be in and out of there in like 45 minutes. And, you know, it turns out I got 2 hours of lovely fun just by hiking and filming and enjoying the day for $8.
But all of this fun for less than the price of going to see a movie in fucking IMAX. I feel refreshed. It's good to get out in nature again. And I see some national parks in my future and state parks from different states going forward. Because it's really awesome to get out here and just be out here. And I have a place to sleep in the parking lot if I wanted, you know? Or in the parking lot down the road. I don't want the cops to taser my ass. You know, I'm almost as speechless as I was in St. Lucia. Okay, this isn't St. Lucia, this is fucking Virginia. But I definitely am feeling that same kind of explorative, getting out into the world, seeing some shit I never seen before. You know, going to places I never been. I like that, and I want to do more of that. So I'm really glad that I've done this car camping experiment. You know, and it's only the beginning of this trip. There's so many other places to explore along the way, and if something catches my eye like this place did, you know, I was just looking around. I looked at points of interest on Interstate 81, saw that this place was there, saw that the zoo was there. I like zoos, so I like going to look at animals and film them and take pictures and stuff. But you know, I saw this and I was like, $8, sign me up. You know, and I didn't even know there was a fucking waterfall at the end of it or any of that, or a cave. Apparently there's another set of caverns, probably cost money to get in there too. But, you know, I wasn't expecting this shit. You know, how many people do you know that are stuck in that 70 an hour a fucking week life when all you gotta do is be broke as fuck, but be efficient as fuck. And you get to do shit like this all the time. Just saying. Nature's pretty much free for the most part. I'm sure you could get in here for free at some point. So, the running cost for this trip so far is $88. That's not including the Carolina Rebellion tickets, which I bought a long time ago. So, if I were just to be doing a road trip right now, I'll have spent $88. I've been staying in the vehicle for, let's see, like 4 nights now, and everything, you know, for $88, that shit, I used to spend that on a day trip to Binghamton. You know, it's really amazing how far I can stretch it, even with the gas prices in some places approaching $3 a gallon. Ironically, as soon as I crossed in Virginia, it dropped back down to $2.50, so I'm wondering what the fuck's going on. You mean to tell me there was some world disaster between fucking Virginia and fucking New York? Somewhere in there, we lost a pipeline, or the fucking fuel trucks couldn't cross, or some shit? Sorry, just don't like getting ripped off. It was really weird how everything got dark while I was going off on that. So that's it for my adventures for today. And that's pretty much what I've spent so far. Part of that was I'd stopped at McDonald's this morning for sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit with no biscuit. Should have seen the look on their fucking face when I said no biscuit. So I had 2 of those. And for some odd reason, they put each one in their individual fucking platter, as you can see here, in its own little platter. You couldn't put them both in the same platter or something, or even just wrap them up without the biscuit. I don't know. It's just, really, you could have fit both of them in one. Maybe they thought it was 2 people or something. I don't know. But that's pretty much held me over, along with a little bit of Veronica's Health Crunch so far, food-wise today. I'm not hungry right now. I'm probably not going to be hungry for quite a while. But I do know I want to stock up before I go in. So I'll be stopping at Walmart. I got to stop and take a shower. So I'm going to hit a truck stop probably on the way to Charlotte. I'm only about 3.5 hours away, almost 4 hours away. I think 3.5. And, you know, it's 4:30 in the afternoon. So it'll be nighttime by the time I'm done with all of that. And I'm ready to find a place to park near Charlotte. And then that all ought to be an adventure in and of itself. There's no truck stops that I'm aware of right in Charlotte. So, just someplace, probably a Walmart. I'll probably be in a Walmart parking lot. I'll go in, I'll do all my shopping for tomorrow, and then just park for the night and hope nobody fucks with me. I did receive a few separate comments that I want to address. The first I want to address, it came from Zoltan300, but I'm not going to do that in this video because this triggered me and deserves its own fucking video. So look forward to that, Zoltan. You triggered my ass. But today, the comment of the day is Allison Jane wrote, "You'd get some sicko jacking off next to you here in the UK if you parked in a car park overnight. It's intimidating just parking up to take the dog for a walk. Voyeurs, dogging enthusiasts, all cruising all the time to see if there's some action going on in a car. Loving the shaved look, by the way." Well, thank you. Shined it up just for you. Look, I've been sleeping in fucking car park rest areas as a truck driver for 14 years. I've never seen one dick. You know, I've seen some making out, maybe a blowjob or 2 going on that was obvious. But for the most part, people, I don't give a fuck what they're doing as long as they leave me alone. That's the key. When I park for the night, I don't want anybody knocking on my window, which has happened in Connecticut. And I don't want anybody coming to bother me. I'm there to rest. I'm there to sleep. Leave me the fuck alone. And if that's going on, I don't care what's going on in the car next to me or the car down the line or any of that, as long as they leave me alone. And after 14 years, I can say, with the exception of some prostitutes in fucking Connecticut who woke me up on a regular basis when I parked there, I have never had a problem anywhere else in the United States at car parks. I don't know how they get this bad name. It has the same reputation here in the United States that you guys have in the UK, as far as car parks go. You know, to me, they're a safe place to park from a standpoint of no cops are going to fuck with me. No one's going to mess with me in that regard. No one's going to ask me why I'm there. Now, if you stay at a car park for like 4 days, somebody's going to say something. But if you're just stopping individually, or you stagger them if you're staying in one area, I don't see where it would be a problem, as long as you don't stick in. One of the things to think about when car camping is you don't want to stay in one place. You want to be nomadic. You want to fucking move. You don't want to spend the night in the same spot 2 nights in a row. And that, especially if you're near residential, you'll get noticed there. Don't park in front of people's houses. People do look out the window like old fuckers and go, "Oh, who the fuck is that parked in front of my house?" You don't want any of that going on. I did like the idea of parking in an apartment complex, but that's a little iffy. I'd be my last choice. Somebody warned me not to park in fucking Walmart parking lots. I disagree there. They were very lenient on my truck over the years. They're one of the few places I could get into as a truck driver. As a car, I do like the idea of blending in more, so I will try parking in with the flock more and not stand out as much, just to see how that goes. The reason I don't like doing that is I think motherfuckers will just wake me up all night, slamming and banging and, getting in and out of their cars and loading up groceries or whatever. So there's that, but I'll experiment. I'll figure out where to park, where not to park. I'm sure I'm going to get, at some point, that knock on the window with the flashlight in the fucking face and maybe a taser or two. Hopefully I don't get shot. I'm not looking forward to that. But I do know that occasionally I'm going to have a run-in with somebody who doesn't like what I'm doing when I'm sleeping in the car. They want me to go spend money in their hotels or in their touristy shit, and I'm not about that. I'm about enjoying life on a lower budget, and so far, day 2 of the vacation, $88 in, to me, it's worth it. So far I haven't exceeded what I could earn in a day driving 1 day of Uber, which is nice. And if I can really stretch the dollars out here, and I'm going to learn, I'm going to do little things to stretch the money more, fasts, that kind of stuff, things that can really push the limits of the money. And that's what you got to do if you want to travel a lot. Otherwise, it could just add up quick. There's so many ways to get sucked in. A lot of these roadside attractions, they want to fucking, charge you all kinds of money, sometimes excessively. So you got to look for deals. You got to stop in and ask, how much does this cost to go in, and that kind of stuff. But look for parks. Parks tend to be cheap, or even free in some cases. State parks are usually either free or like $4 or $5. The one I just went to was $8. And then spend a lot of time there. Get your $8 worth. If I'm somewhere for, I think it was at this park for about 3 hours total, and I get 3 hours of entertainment for $8, to me that's worth it. Obviously try and go places that are free, and there's plenty to see. You can walk around a town or a city that you've never been in before for free. Look around at the different mom and pop shops, or that kind of stuff. That's all stuff on my list to do. I want to explore. I want to see the country in the way that I never saw it as a truck driver for 14 years. So, but what the fuck do I know about being a minimalist, sleeping in the fucking car all the time and shit? I'm not a fucking expert. I'm just a fucking asshole. There'll be another video after this addressing the other comment that I wanted to make a video about. But we'll do one more comment before I go. Let's see here. Blackbird Singing wrote, "I haven't woken up to a man like that in years." We're probably referring to my little waking up in the car video. "What are you trying to do to me, dude? You look kind of cute half asleep, though." I did not look fucking cute in that video, and that's exactly why I posted that. That is me when I first wake up, and cute should never be in the same fucking sentence, ever. It's just not how it works. But thanks for the compliment and shit. Paul Spires, "You lucky motherfucker! That is what You call a shit hot lineup for a festival. Wow, have a ball, dude. Oh, I will. And I'll be sending, I'm going to try and go live during it, but I don't know if the cells towers tend to go to shit with that many people in one area, so we'll see how that goes. I do want to try and go live at some point over the weekend, though. Probably from the campsite or something. Well, that's it for this episode. If you found this entertaining or enlightening, I don't know that I enlightened anybody, except to maybe the joys of not spending as much money and enjoying life more. Other than that, if you thought this video was entertaining, you want me to make more of this shit, you want me to take more road trips, which do cost money, or you want me to stay home and just sit in front of the screen and do research and talk all the time, there's that too. But either way, if you go to ScottTheTruckDriver.com and throw a few bucks in the virtual tip jar, I'd appreciate it. You don't have to, but it helps. It does help a lot. Please like and subscribe for more shit. I'll make all kinds of shit. Thought I was going to say and shit right there, didn't you? Sometimes I just leave it out. Because I know secretly you just fucking said and shit. Right after I said that, you were like, and shit. And shit. Have a nice motherfucking day.